Welcome to Channel 9 Studio. Health is wealth. স্বাস্থ্যই সকল সুখের মূল এবং আমরা সবাই জানি সেটা। সেই স্বাস্থ্যকে রক্ষা করার জন্য আমরা নানাবিধ স্বাস্থ্যসেবা নিয়ে থাকি। আর এই স্বাস্থ্যসেবার জন্য আমরা দেশে এবং দেশের গণ্ডি পেরিয়ে বিশ্ব দরবারে নামকরা হাসপাতালগুলোতে যেয়ে থাকি। এরকমই একটি হাসপাতাল সিঙ্গাপুরের গ্লেনিগলস হসপিটাল। আজকে আমাদের স্টুডিওতে উপস্থিত আছেন গ্লেনিগলস হসপিটালসের চিফ এক্সিকিউটিভ অফিসার মিস্টার লি সুইংমিং। Mr. Lee Swingming, welcome to Bangladesh.
Thank you.
Welcome to Channel 9 Studio.
Thank you so much.
So far, I know this is your first visit to Bangladesh.
That's true, yes.
Can you please share with us the purpose of your visit?
Right. I'm new to the hospital. I've just joined the hospital 2 months ago. And one of my mission is really to understand more about patients. And patients come from many countries. Of course, one of them is Bangladesh.
Yes.
I have patients who came here, left the hospital, and now we see them as friends. So this visit is actually to visit friends. But at the same time, I'm visiting the hospitals here and meeting the doctors as well to get to know them better. So for us, it's a collaboration. We have a common interest for all our patients, and these patients are shared. So we want to make sure that we do the best for the patients. So for me, coming here is to get to know the patients better, to get to know the hospitals and the doctors better. So all of us can work together to benefit our patients.
Since you have visited a lot of hospitals in Bangladesh, so can you please share your observations regarding the hospital visit and comparing the Singaporean hospitals and Bangladeshi healthcare industry?
Right. Hospitals are very complex organizations.
Obviously.
There's always the hardware and the software. What I find common across most hospitals in the world as well as in Bangladesh is the hardware is not the difficult part because we can always buy machines and put in equipment. The challenges I hear from hospitals here is more the software. For example, nursing. They are short of nurses and they need nurses to be skilled. So they need training and development. So I'm here to also think of how to collaborate with the hospitals here to share the training and development that our nurses go through. For example, in intensive care units, ICU, some of the nurses in the ICU are very well trained. We could actually open up that kind of training and sharing with the nurses from Bangladesh.
Do you train your nurses by your own organization or
That's
you
right.
hire the trained nurses?
Oh, we do both. We do have a Parkway College that trains nurses. At the same time, we bring in nurses who are already trained. And nurses who are new to us will also get further training. So most of them join us with a basic diploma, and then after that, we send them for advanced or postgraduate diploma. So with that, they get very skilled, whether it's in the OT or in the ICU.
What's the ratio of your doctors, nurses, and the other hospital members in your hospital?
For us, one nurse during the day will take care of about 4 patients in a general ward. In the intensive care unit, one nurse will take care of each patient. So the ratio is really 1-to-1. So it's very high level of care and very good care for the patients.
So you say like your patients becomes your friends.
That's right.
What are the unique features that you introduce in your hospital that your patients becomes your friends and you came all the way from Singapore to Bangladesh to visit your friends?
I think it's very important because when we talk about healthcare, it's really a relationship. It is not commercial in that way because we want our patients to recover. We want them to get the best to their normal self and enjoy life with their family. So one of our patients here actually had 2 young children back home waiting for him to go home. So when he was leaving the hospital, I gave him a teddy bear. Then when I heard he has 2 young children, I said, "Now I must give him 2 more teddy bears. Otherwise, the children will fight over the teddy bear."
Oh.
So to me, that is what a friend would do for another friend. And oftentimes, I'll tell our staff, treat the patients like their family members. If your father or your mother or your children were in hospital, how would you want them to be treated? And that's how I want our nurses to put themselves in the shoes of the patient and think, what would the patient like? What would they enjoy? How can we make it better? I'll give you another example. Most times a patient goes to a hospital, they are not very happy because they're not well. So they don't have much to look forward to in a day, right? So what we do is we make the food very good for them.
Okay.
So there's 3 good meals they can look forward to. And some of our cancer patients, because of the drugs they take, their taste buds are affected. So they don't feel much taste. So we do special recipes for them. So much so that some of their relatives actually came to our chef and asked for the recipe so they can bring it home and cook the same kind of food for the patients. Because for them, food is very important.
So do you want to say that like people travel to Singapore to your hospital for treatment, not for treatment, only for food?
Well, we are known to be a food paradise.
Okay.
But really, we want a holistic treatment. And we believe in the well-being of the person, both from the medical part as well as from their appetite.
What are the specialties in your hospitals?
Oh, we have many specialties.
Such
Well,
as?
most well known for liver transplant cases. And on top of that, we have oncology, which is cancer. We have also orthopedics, which is basically for the bones, and that includes the spine. And then on top of it, we have cardiology. And actually, we do have a lot of patients from Bangladesh coming to our hospital for cardiac or their heart problems.
Treatment in Singapore seem to be very expensive compared to the other regions in this region. So why do still patient goes to your hospital?
I think the patients who come to hospitals understand the concept of value. I would define value as the quality divided by the price. Whilst I think we are not the cheapest hospital in the world, I think our quality is probably the best. So when you look at quality and the patients who understand value and appreciate value actually comes to a hospital for the quality.
How do you rank your hospital in terms of medical facilities, equipment, services, patients' outcomes in the world?
I would say we are one of the best in the world. We are accredited under the Joint Commissions International, or JCI. So that's really an international benchmark. And I think in terms of healthcare, for us, most importantly, is the teamwork between the doctors, the nurses, and the therapists. Even among the doctors, they work very well together across different specialties. So I think that is the X factor, the special reason why we are so good. I think for equipment, there's nothing very differentiating about that. But the software, the people, the touch, is what we call in our hospital the Gleneagles touch. It's something very unique. And we want our patients to be so touched by our service, they remember us as friends.
How many patients you can actually do treatment in your hospital at a time?
We have about 258 beds. So 258 beds.
58 beds.
That's right.
Okay.
So we have also many facilities, ICU, operating theatres, and so on. So we can handle many, many patients at the same time. But most importantly, for the simpler procedures, we don't even have to get them to stay overnight. They will come in the morning, get the procedure done, and leave in the evening.
And there are a lot of outdoor patients as well.
That's right.
How many doctors do you have in your hospitals?
We have, in terms of active doctors, more than 300 doctors.
300 doctors?
That's right.
Wow.
And in terms of accredited doctors who are allowed to practice at a hospital, more than 1,000.
Your hospital is actually a sister concern of Parkway Hospitals, right?
That's right.
So you have other hospitals in the group. So you have actually a quite large amount of healthcare under one roof.
That's right.
So how do you compare Bangladesh health industry compared to your health industry?
I think there are many similarities and many differences. I think the similarities are the public hospitals in both countries are very, very crowded. And therefore, there's a role for the private hospitals like ourselves to come out to help. Because for patients going to a crowded public hospital, the waiting time in the queue is very long. And for patients who are very anxious, that's really the last thing they want to hear of. So I'm sure you know that. So I think for both countries, there is an important role for private hospitals. And that's where Parkway comes in. In terms of differences, I think hospitals are always at different stages of development. We can always learn from each other. There are certain things that we do better and other things that the hospitals here will do better. So we can exchange information and collaborate. We could potentially send doctors across the two countries to have an exchange program where we can learn from each other and share experiences, as well as for the nurses as well. Even for management, hospital management, when I talk to the hospitals here, I share with them how we do service excellence in our hospital, in terms of how we be very personable, we talk to our patients, we exceed the expectations. In essence, we call it service from the heart. And this is something we'll be happy to share with the hospitals here as well.
You have a lot of success stories about liver transplant, heart transplant, onco, and a lot of other stuffs. Which department you actually take pride?
I think we are most proud of our liver transplant unit.
Okay.
Because that's really something that's very, very, very important to us. And it saves many, many lives. It does make a big impact, especially for young patients. They have many, many years to look forward to. And when their liver gets affected, it's really terrible for them. So I'm very, very proud of our liver transplant unit because we even have a dedicated intensive care unit ward for liver transplant cases after the procedure. So they are very well taken care after that.
So liver transplant is actually your pride. Which is the second one?
I think our oncology as well as our cardiology. I find it very hard to rank the two. So
oncology is actually quite a large area.
That's right.
Can you specify what kind of oncology treatment you do in your hospital?
Actually, we do the full works. For us, oncology, the most important part is the initial diagnosis of oncology. And then we have the different modes of treatment. They could, for example, go for chemotherapy, or they would be going for radiation therapy, or it could be a surgical oncology case. So really there are many, many ways to treat cancer.
Yes.
So I think for us, I think we have the full service to manage all modalities for cancer treatment. That's why we are very proud of that.
There's a very basic question about like oncology or the cancer patients. When you give chemotherapy or radiotherapy, it doesn't only kill the cancer cells, it kills your regular cells as well.
Yeah.
So you get like more weak. At the same time, like the patients are actually not being able to move or work at the same ratio that they used to work beginning or before they have taken the chemotherapy. So how do you manage this?
Yeah. This is why the initial diagnosis is most important. We need to really isolate and be very clear and focus on what treatment plan it is.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying. In the past, people understand chemotherapy as carpet bombing, which means you just kill everything that you see. But nowadays, technology has improved. We could actually be more focused, more targeted. For example, when you do radiation oncology, we could direct the radioactive beam to where it's needed to be. So just to a specific area and not to the whole area.
So, and your second priority is cardiology.
That's right. Cardiology to us is very close to the heart.
Yes.
Because we're dealing really with all these patients with a lot of heart problems.
Yeah.
And cardiology has actually advanced a lot. In the past, when you have blockage, we do an open heart surgery. So you basically cut open the heart and do a bypass. But nowadays, with the stenting and everything else coming in, it has improved so much that sometimes for younger patients, they may not even need to do a bypass. We just do a stenting for them. Even the stents itself have actually advanced so much. In the initial days, it's just bare metal stents. After that, they have drug-eluting stents where they coat the stents with drugs to reduce the scarring. And moving forward into the future, we'll see more evolution of that. Existingly, we even have biodegradable stents. So it's really very interesting. This is a real new technology that has actually happened over many years, and I think we'll see evolving further.
What is your third pride?
I would say our women's health, because our ONG is very strong. It's what we used to be known as a maternity hospital when we first started. And that's also very close to our hearts because that's where we deliver babies. And it's always a happy occasion because many times you come to hospital, it's always sickness and ill health. But when you come to deliver a baby, it's a very joyful experience. And that actually helps us grow the hospital because not only are we looking after the mothers, we now start to look after the baby and then pediatrics after that, and then when they go to adult. So there are many, many things we could do for these patients.
Can you please give us an idea about the expenditures of, so for example, liver transplant or heart transplant for a patient?
Right. The liver transplant depends again on the condition of the patient. So it's something that we are looking at to even look at moving forward to reduce the price of these things. I think for us nowadays with technology and with productivity, we can actually bring down the price to make it more affordable to patients from around the world.
Yeah, obviously. Do you have special services for the international patients?
Oh yes. For example, language is oftentimes an issue. So we do have translators on site that can actually help to translate. And that would be the good bridge between our healthcare staff and the patients.
So do you process their visas, their journeys, their pickup from the airport or the hospitals?
I can give you examples for those cases that actually need immediate evacuation. We handle the whole air evacuation process. So we actually put them on a plane, have a medical team with them during the journey, and then work through all the paperwork, the visas and everything to get them through to the hospital. So it's really a one-stop solution for them. I think the last thing we want them to worry about is logistics when they have this big death issue they are staring at.
Is there any facility for the international patients, such as online kind of stuff, like second medical opinion or whatever?
Sure. Right now, we have actually used the WhatsApp application. You could actually book an appointment using WhatsApp online.
Online,
online.
So patients can like send their reports from their home country and then send it to the doctors, and so doctors can see and give them back and then let them know what are the problems actually they are going through and what kind of treatment they should go through, because sometimes it's difficult for some people to travel to another country because the medical condition is so bad, or they're not being able to travel at the moment, but they need a right guidance. So you have that second medical opinion.
That's right. We will certainly welcome that. In fact, we encourage people to come to us as early as possible. As for example, if you suspect you have cancer, it's better to come earlier where you catch it at the early stages rather than you come at the end stage. So, so we do receive all these queries as well as information that they come to us for second opinion, and we certainly welcome that.
Do you have any subsidy for the international patients?
Subsidy?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have because we are a private hospital.
Yeah.
Even the local patients do not get subsidy. So
Okay.
in a way, we are fair to everybody.
Singapore is one of the top most popular countries in the world to travel, but you have traveled from Singapore to Bangladesh. What are your experiences in Bangladesh?
Oh, it's very, very a pleasant surprise for me to come to visit Dhaka in Bangladesh. I'm very, very happy with the very warm reception.
Okay.
Everywhere I go, I get offered a lot of good food, very warm
Similar to your
hospitality,
hospital?
and similar to our hospital. So I can understand and appreciate the warmth and friendliness. I feel like I'm in a very family-like environment here. And the people are so warm and friendly and so welcoming. And many people I met told me that they have been to Singapore, they've been to my hospital. I say, thank you so much for all their support. I really appreciate it. It's a beautiful country.
Since your pride is liver transplant in your hospital, can you please explain us that what is the process of liver transplant? Because liver transplant is a very, very difficult operation, and the liver has to be matched up. At the same time, the blood group has to be matched up. So there are a lot of difficulties. How do you actually manage all this?
Yes, that's really a big challenge for us because what we're focusing on a lot is on the living donor liver transplant. So the first thing is to find a donor. And oftentimes it's not easy. You have to match many criteria. And after that, we actually go through an ethical committee decision to verify and certify that this donor is really willing and happy and understands the risk of donation. And it's not a commercial transaction where someone pays for a donor. So that was very important because those are ethical guidelines we abide by. And lastly, after the operation, they may need to be on immunosuppression drugs for the rest of their life. So I think for us, all this risks we have to explain to the patient and the donor. So there's a lot of things that we need to go through in terms of process.
I understand. For example, if I want to donate my liver to a patient who's actually dying, what are the suggestions for me? Or what are the suggestions for the donors actually?
Well, we want them to be very fit. We want to check whether they have any existing liver issues like hepatitis and so on, to make sure that they have a good, clean liver to share with the patient. And we also want them to be aware there's certain risks involved as well.
Yeah.
I think we want to be very upfront and be very clear and frank with them to highlight to them potentially what are the risks and complications, because we feel that is our effort that we need to make them understand the risk before we can actually proceed with the process.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee, for coming to our studio. We are actually end of our show. We hope to see you in Bangladesh sometime soon.
Thank you.
And exchange more information.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you.